4 years ago, my husband and I sold our house, our 3-bedroom house near Pittsburgh, sold our 2 cars, gave away most of our belongings, and were ready to become digital nomads. We had been preparing for a year, and we're finally mentally and physically ready to do that. Traveling and working throughout the world and exploring wherever we want to explore. Since that time, I've lived in about 80 different houses, apartments, and hotels in 12 different countries, traveled over 500,000 miles by plane, train, bus, boat, Uber, car, and by foot, drank 1,000 new beers, and met countless new friends. So my name is Sandy Ucia. I am a Power Platform MVP and technical evangelist for Lightning Tools, which is a SharePoint ISV based in the UK. Today I'd like to share with you how and why I live a digital nomad lifestyle, and I hope to be able to show you how you can do that as well. This isn't a sort of a normal session for a tech conference, I know, but I find that people often want to know about how I live the way I do, and I see that there is a fair bit of interest in it, so that's great. I'd like to be able to just go through with you how and why. Why would you do such a thing? Why would you leave everyone and everything that you know and for a life of living, sleeping in other people's beds, dealing with other people's quirks in their houses and their appliances, and making do with what you can carry around in a carry-on bag? Well, probably for other people who also share this lifestyle, everybody has a different reason for doing that. But for me, it was mostly about the stuff. I was feeling burdened by the house full of stuff that I had, having to worry about, or feeling like I had to worry about where it was, buying more stuff, cleaning stuff, moving stuff around, and just generally taking care of things. Also, part of it for me maybe was that I had lost my business. I had a manufacturing business and lost that a few years before during the recession. And so maybe having lost so much in the past makes it a little easier for me to kind of divest myself of other possessions. But also, I just love new things. I love experiencing new things. I love to travel, and that is really all what the digital nomad lifestyle is all about, is experiencing new things. So I want to mention that the photos on the slides are some of my favorite photos of the places that we've been. This one, or the title slide, was from the dunes near Arcata in far northern California, which is where we're currently living for 2 months. This one is along a canal in the Midlands of England, which I love the fact that in England you can walk for miles on footpaths, and you always end up at a pub at the end somehow. At least that's how it works for me. So when we began taking our nomad lifestyle, or thinking about it, we found a couple different sites and blogs and books that helped us, and I'll have links at the end of this slideshow for that. But some that we found especially useful were a book called Home Sweet Anywhere, and the blog sites of Nomadic Matt and The Professional Hobo. Those help teach us things about, for example, the Schengen countries in Europe, which I had no idea about before, having just gone there on vacation in the past. But that means what that is that we can't spend more than 90 days every 6 months in those countries without getting a special visa to do that. Also, those sites taught us about buying travel insurance, which I hadn't ever done on just taking a vacation, but that covers things like medical expenses when we're on an extended travel. So then after about a year of planning, we were ready in the spring of 2015, or about a year of thinking about it, I should say. And so we put our house up on the market. We sold one of our cars and gave the other one to our son and his wife. And we started getting rid of all that stuff that we had in our house. I took carloads of things to Goodwill and to church rummage sales. And and then we gave a lot of it away to friends. So I put posts on Facebook and said, who wants this? And then we had a going away party where we invited everyone we knew who lived anywhere near us to come and say goodbye and take whatever you want. And that worked pretty well. And I really love hearing from people since then how much they've been enjoying the things that they got as a benefit from our downsizing. That's been really fun. So some logistics about nomadic lifestyle. Housing is our biggest expense, and that's the most important thing, to have some place to live, since I no longer do. We mostly use Airbnb for that, and we've had really good experience, generally speaking, with that. I have that down to pretty much a science at this point as far as setting the filters I want. So that I want a whole house and that I want a separate bedroom, I want a kitchen, I would definitely want Wi-Fi and laundry facilities, and also pay really close attention to the photos and the reviews to get a feel for what the place is really like. We also try to make that somewhere that's near a grocery store so that we can do our own shopping and not have to worry about not have to eat out all the time. We also have done some house sitting mostly through a website called Mind My House. And so that allows us to have a free place to stay while we're just taking care of somebody's house while they're away. And usually that involves a pet that needs taken care of, but it's usually not too difficult. There have been a couple tricky ones, but so for example, we spent a month near Manchester, England, just feeding a cat was all we had to do. So we could spend the rest of our time, working of course, but then traveling by train into the city, taking hikes and so on. We spent about a month in northern Germany watching a house where there were no pets and they just needed us to cut the grass and water the garden. But it was a great full apartment and we had use of their bicycles, and so we were able to tour around that whole area. We really love to walk and hike, so whenever we get to a new neighborhood, we spend time exploring that on foot. We find that that's the best way to get to know a new place. And I can't tell you the number of times that we've talked to local people then and told them about some place we found on our explorations, and they're like, I had no idea that was in my city. So it's really, really a good way to explore a place and get to know new places. Clothing, kind of going through the hierarchy of needs there, I guess. Obviously, since I only carry a laptop bag and a carry-on bag, that kind of limits clothing selections. But I find that if I buy clothes or have owned clothes that can be used for multiple different use cases, casual into dressy, then that works best. And I don't really have to, if I do have to replace something because I've just washed it so many times that it needs replaced, then that's the only time that I buy something, because then if I buy something, something's got to go. But what if I need something for a special occasion? Like, for example, I don't normally carry an outfit like this with me. I usually have things like jeans and T-shirts. So these slacks I've borrowed from my daughter's closet because we're living near them right now. And this top I found for $5 at the secondhand store that was in Arcata also. Last year, we were in England when it was time for the Lightning Tools Christmas do, and I don't carry a party dress with me. So I went to a charity shop, bought a sparkly black dress for £7, and then I donated it back to the charity shop afterward. I do the same thing with coats. I'm not going to carry a coat around with me all the time, but sometimes we end up in a cold place. The goal is not to end up in a cold place usually, but sometimes I do. And so I'll buy a coat at the secondhand shop for, $15 or something, and then I don't mind just donating it back when I'm done with it. As far as food, like I said, I try to make our places be near grocery stores, and they're longer-term stays. We try to stay at least a week in places, but more likely something like a month at a time, so that we can get in groceries and do cooking and not have to eat out all the time. I mean, it's really fun to eat out at least once or twice a week, be able to get a feel for what kind of food is in that area. But I also love going to markets, especially in some place like Italy, for example, or California, for that matter, where the produce is all fresh and fresh seafood and so on. In fact, this photo is from Manarola, Italy, which is in the Cinque Terre. If you haven't heard of that before, you need to go there. It's 5 little villages that are scattered in the Mediterranean hillsides. There's one road leading into each one of them, so no cars, really, to speak of. That's only for the grocery stores to get their stuff in. One train stop and a harbor, and then all the rest are the streets, are little stone alleyways and steps in between all those houses. This photo was taken as I was walking back from a dinner, which was fresh-caught seafood and a bottle of local white wine, and I feel like you just can't get any better than that, really. This photo is of Table Mountain and Lion's Head in Cape Town, South Africa, where I was 3 years ago for the SharePoint Saturdays there. And this was taken from the window of the Airbnb apartment I stayed in. It was a 2-story apartment with this huge curved glass window with this view, and it was $60 a night, because everything is really cheap in South Africa for us anyway. So some more logistics. Travel, after housing, travel is the second most thing I spend on. And generally, I buy a one-way ticket to someplace, and because we don't usually know where we're going after that. And find that anymore, it doesn't make that much difference whether you buy one-way or round trip. There's not that much difference, I don't think. I think it used to be the case, but so I look out for special deals and maybe just take advantage of that, or we might decide to go somewhere based on somewhere I'm speaking, a conference I'm attending, and then we'll just stay longer. But I have a couple go-to sites that I use for that sort of thing, which I'll talk about. I'll just talk about them now. I usually use Momondo and Google Flights and Rome to Rio to get good travel bargains, and also just to plan my routes. And then when we get to a local place, I often get the train apps so that we can plan any local in-country travel. Technology, well, obviously I couldn't live this kind of lifestyle without internet and cloud-based services to work and use for both work and personal life. So I love having Microsoft 365 available. I especially make use of SharePoint, OneDrive, Planner, and OneNote for all of my work and personal items. I love being able to access all of that from anywhere and from whatever device I happen to be on. We've also got a bunch of kind of go-to apps that we use all the time. So the travel ones I mentioned, the housing ones I mentioned, Airbnb and Mind My House. Also things like Google Translate. If we're going to a country where we don't speak the language, we each speak a couple languages, so that helps a bit. But that just to be able to communicate with the locals, and also the thing where you can just point your phone at a menu or a sign and it automatically translates for you. That's the coolest thing. Also, we use Duolingo to try to brush up on some languages whenever we're going somewhere where we don't speak it. Some other apps I use are the mobile passport app. I think that's probably a US thing, but that lets us skip all the lines when we re-enter the US. At least it currently does, because not that many people have mobile passport. So it doesn't cost anything, it's free, but it lets you skip all those customs lines. Google Maps we use a lot, and that's just for finding restaurants and places to go, and then also for finding the routes to get there, whether it's walking or driving or even public transport. And so then getting that data, I've got Verizon on my Android phone, and so I just always have an international data plan and calling plan, which costs a little bit extra to keep on there, but I never know when I'm going to go traveling, so I just always leave it on there. And then my husband's got T-Mobile on his phone, and that includes unlimited international data. So between the two of us with our different plans and the fact that more and more places have Wi-Fi, we don't seem to have any trouble staying connected, generally speaking, even on something like Google Maps where you're not on Wi-Fi and you're trying to drive and navigate. That's really not a problem. It doesn't use that much data. As a lot of people ask me about money, doesn't it cost a lot to live this way? Doesn't it cost a lot more? But I've found really it would if it was like being on vacation. People think about travel as being on vacation. You're paying to get someplace, you're paying to stay someplace, but you've still got your house at home that you've got to take care of. Whereas with this lifestyle, the travel and the lodging is your travel, is your living expense. So as long as you don't go to like resort areas and really tourist and expensive spots, we prefer to stay in some place that's a small town or a neighborhood in a big city that's maybe a little less expensive. So that doesn't really cost us that much. I've found that it's about the same cost, the same expense that we're putting out each year living this lifestyle as we did when we owned a home. Some things are more, some things are less, but not having all that expense of maintaining a house, maintaining cars, car payments, house payments, the furnace blowing up, property taxes, buying things, that's definitely a savings where you can't buy things because they don't fit anymore in the carry-on bag. I find I actually am a little uncomfortable now going to a place like Walmart where there's so much stuff there that people are apparently buying, and I know how much stuff I need to live a comfortable life, which is this much stuff, and I just find that I can no longer comprehend what all that stuff is about. So often, I've seen friends and family who say someday they would like to go traveling. They'd like to have my life. I talk to people, and they're constantly saying, "I want to be like you. I want to do that someday." But then someday comes, if it does come eventually, and then maybe you have health issues or some other life circumstance that then it's too late. It prevents you from doing what you said you were going to do someday. So what I would say to you is, why wait? What's stopping you? What are you waiting for? So we've got a couple resources here. These are some of the things that help in planning and just general nomad travel logistics. I've only had 20 minutes, and I've got way more than 20 minutes of things to say. So if you want to come up and talk to me afterwards or hit me up on Twitter, ask me any questions you want, I'd be really happy to answer them for you. And I hope that even if you're not ready to leap and embark on a digital nomad lifestyle right now, that at least you've maybe come away with a little bit of interest in or knowledge of possessions versus experiences, and if that has hit home with you, I'd really love to hear about it. Thank you very much.